What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news each and every day. I'm Drew Bosley, that's Scott Savage, and you can join us at InsideTheGame.ca, our YouTube channel, Inside the Game Official, our fast channel over at Rad TV, all those beautiful television streaming platforms around the globe, just like Roku, Amazon Prime, Jinx Esports TV, ESTV, Samsung Plus, the list goes on. But maybe you want the audio side? Well, then hit us up over at Fired Up Network, all 212 platforms in your eardrums. That's right, we're coming at you everywhere. Scott, what's on today's show?
Today we have Blizzard's future under Xbox and what that's going to look like. Microsoft and AI on its way to Xbox. That's a little concerning.
That's
Embracer. Embracer's COO has departed in what appears to be a puzzling move. And PlayStation 5 is set to end the support for Twitter going forward.
Oh man, Twitter, X, what are we calling this platform anymore? Is anybody even using X? I still call it Twitter, dude. I'm old school, I guess. I'd probably always say that way. But let's talk about it. Blizzard joining the world of Xbox brings opportunities. Scott, this is some exciting news as Blizzard's boss expects the studio to feel more independent than ever under Xbox. No kidding. Tom Ivan over at VGC. The Xbox maker completed its $69 billion purchase of Activision Blizzard last month, in the process taking ownership of franchises including World of Warcraft, Diablo, and Overwatch. Discussing the impact of the deal in an interview with The Verge, Ybarra said he thinks Blizzard will be afforded more freedom than has previously been the case. Quote, I think the way Xbox boss Phil Spencer approaches building teams and focusing on culture and enabling creative freedom is going to give Blizzard a lot more of that sense of being an independent studio than ever before, end quote. He said, quote, that's what I really mean when I talk about a new era of possibilities, of empowerment, of serving players even better than we ever have, end quote. Ybarra, who joined Blizzard in 2019, it's funny, I forgot he was on Xbox, right? Mikey Ybarra was over on Xbox, then jumped over to Blizzard. But after 2019, following almost 20 years at Microsoft, was joined by Spencer on stage during BlizzCon's opening ceremony last week. Microsoft's head of gaming, who recently visited the Warcraft studio with Xbox leadership team to meet employees, proclaimed, quote, the future of Blizzard is brighter than ever, end quote, during last week's fan convention. Quote, Blizzard's influence is everywhere, and because its enduring legacy and phenomenal revolutionary development with a care and a craft that is incredibly rare in this industry, end quote, he said. Quote, our commitment at Xbox is to bring more great games to more players in more places. And now that Blizzard is a part of Xbox, we will nurture the essence of what has made Blizzard unique. We're going to empower our new colleagues in a culture of trust, inclusion, and collaboration to continue what they do best, redefining existing genres, creating new, never before seen experiences, and uniting players globally in new ways. In Azeroth, in Sanctuary, in near future Earth, and beyond, end quote. Spencer recently discussed how Xbox plans to approach utilizing Activision Blizzard's back catalog of games. The exec said he would fully support the studio revisiting older titles if it was a direction they wanted to take. Quote, because I think there's just an amazing trove of things that we can go and touch again, end quote. But suggested doing so wasn't something the Xbox would mandate. Scott, the freedom joining the world of Xbox seems to be a nice take for Blizzard and probably a breath of fresh air, since they've been more or less pigeonholed in a direction they probably didn't really want to go. Hello, Overwatch 2.
Yeah, Overwatch 2 still hurts me to this day, and likely will for some time. I don't foresee Overwatch particular being fixed or upgraded directly by this move, but this does give Blizzard a little bit more play because they have a small nation's wealth now. They don't have to worry about investments and being held into certain directions for monetization's sake. They might get a little bit more play there. Blizzard, of course, still has to be a self-sufficient company that makes money and is profitable.
Sure.
But I think Xbox is going to help with that because there's a lot of opportunities. Exploring this back catalog has me really excited. That's the big standout here because I like to play games with my brother. We play RTS games,
Yeah.
Command and Conquer, shout out. But Red Alert 2 is still the best they'll ever be. But Warcraft, not World of. Warcraft 2 is, as to my knowledge, inaccessible. I have to find it in a gas station, and it's been sitting there since 2001. Otherwise, I can't buy it. I can't activate it. I'm not even certain if I could pirate it, and I don't want to find out.
Sure.
But this presents an opportunity. Could we get Microsoft to open the doors to that? Unvault Warcraft 2. I say 2 because 2 is my favorite. 3 would be just as fun, but perhaps if we put that on the console. We've seen Age of Empires 2 work just fine on console. I haven't played it myself personally, but I've only ever seen good things. So this is a possibility that I could see, and that would just, well, bring it out of solitary confinement, really.
Bring it out of hiding. Yeah, it's interesting to see. I think now
perhaps
go ahead.
Perhaps put Overwatch in its place.
Well, yeah, I think it's the exciting times of what now lies ahead for Blizzard, right? Here's the opportunity. Are we getting something completely new? Will they work on something new, something fresh, or will they go back into the vault, like you said, right? And maybe bring us something we haven't been able to touch in decades at this point. Mm-hmm. But it's nice to see that Xbox is able to come in and go, hey, you know what? Just take a breath and let's focus on something you want to create. And don't worry about like at this point then, is Overwatch just done? Like, will they continue to support it? I think maybe lightly, but the future of Overwatch just, or do they go back to the original vision of Overwatch 2 and recraft that to the way it was supposed to be in the first place? Just I
really hope that's the case.
What a mess, though, right? Of Overwatch 2, they shut down Overwatch 1 to push everybody to 2, and then 2 just isn't really what everybody wanted. They wanted more of 1. And it's just kind of this fine balance. It just hasn't really worked out for Blizzard in that essence. Now then you get into Diablo, like it's funny. Rod Ferguson leaves Xbox, goes to work with the team over for Diablo with Blizzard. Guess who's back? Rod Ferguson now, right? Like it's everybody leaves, and now they're all coming back with Mike Ybarra as well. Like it's all this the return to home kind of thing. And because they do have such deep pockets over at Microsoft, it then allows them the opportunity to then go out and craft experiences that they aren't going, okay, here's under Activision, dude, it's Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty. Maybe now we can take a break a little bit from Call of Duty, sort of, but maybe have the teams work on something else, like Beanox. Dude, they worked on, they created Spider-Man. And then here, now they're getting told they have to work on Call of Duty, right? So I'm hoping here with Blizzard, because they've been such in a direction of, you got to do this, you got to do this. Maybe now it gives them a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel to go, hey, let's create something new and exciting, something fresh, right?
Yeah, what do we want to work on? Is something they can finally sit down and say properly. And they're in the Xbox first party family now, which means there's a lot of opportunity for cross a company working, which has me thinking of, and this is not my original idea, I see this put on Twitter every day, but the idea of StarCraft, but with the help of Coalition. So in my head, I'm imagining a Gears of War style game, but you're Protoss or Terran, just reducing everything to rubble. I could have a good time there. And actually, on that thought, StarCraft 2, why not bring that to console too?
I think it's going to be quite a while before we see anything fresh out of Blizzard. What does this truly mean for them to go under Xbox? I think it's going to be years out from us actually finding out what's going to happen, right? They've got projects right now in development. They have to finish those up. And then once those are wrapped up, then what does the future look like? But yeah, I think we're probably 2-3 years out still at this point before we really start to see what it means to join Xbox. But dude, it's cool. It's nice to see, because when you're a creative person, dude, and you're pigeonholed and you're tight reined into one position, you just feel suffocated, and it doesn't work for your creative flow. Believe me, I know all about it. So hopefully this really works out well for Blizzard. I think it will. I think it works out for gamers too. So good times ahead, I think.
Absolutely.
Scott, continuing on with the Xbox, Microsoft is bringing AI characters to Xbox. Oh boy. Tom Warren over at The Verge. Microsoft is partnering with InWorld AI to develop Xbox tools that will allow developers to create AI-powered characters, stories, and quests. The multiplayer partnership will multi-year, sorry, I was gonna say multiplayer. The multi-year partnership will include an AI design co-pilot system that Xbox developers can use to create detailed scripts, dialogue trees, quest lines, and more. Quote, at Xbox, we believe that with better tools, creators can make even more extraordinary games, end quote, explains Hazan Zhang, general manager of gaming AI at Xbox. Quote, this partnership will bring together in-world's expertise in working with generative AI models for characters development. Xbox, Microsoft cutting-edge cloud-based AI solutions, including Azure OpenAI service, Microsoft's research technical insights into the future of play, the team Xbox's strengths into revolutionizing accessible and responsible creator tools for all developers, end quote. The multi-platform AI toolset will include the AI design copilot for scripts and dialogue and AI characters AI character engine that can be integrated into games and used to dynamically generate stories, quests, and dialogue. Scott, does this make you a little concerned or a lot?
The idea of AI is kind of a scary topic and a brand new discussion of the era, but
yeah,
seeing it included into video games at first thought is not negative. I think, okay, well, this might be it eliminates a lot of the busy work from development. It might shrink some of that bloated development time. That might, again, in turn, bring costs down. Suddenly, we're back into a sustainable video game ecosystem for those who create them. But then I go one step further and I say, well, this will undoubtedly eliminate certain jobs. And we're already seeing that as the tree is shook this year and everybody's falling away from the industry because of issues. I'm worried that this will eliminate certain jobs. In particular, one that I'm very interested in, which is voice acting.
Right.
That's a dream job of mine and many, many others, but there is a possibility that these AI technologies will be able to replicate your voice or just create an original voice. But in any case, I will not be needed in that scenario.
No, for sure. And the other side of it too, right? We see a lot of it in the art world coming across. Dude, it's terrifying. It really is terrifying. I'm fortunate to be a tattoo artist, so that changes my perspective because you can't really do much with there unless you have a tattoo artist. So, but for when it comes for everything else, like, man, I've seen people like generate comics off of generative AI. I'm like, that's not like, man, really? That's what you're doing? It just seems like a quick buck. Here, things are a little bit different, but still, you got to be very careful, right? I don't want my main experience for Spider-Man 3 to be generated by AI, as an example, right? Or the next Gears of War or Fable stories. When we get into this world, we want Starfield to be visionary by like Todd Howard, right? And the team over there to craft a well-executed story in the end. Granted, you can take Starfield how you like it, but regardless,
it was interesting.
People who generated that, right?
Oh, sorry. Starfield itself is an interesting example because some of that was randomly generated, however.
Those are
through
planets,
some use of AI to create the planets. And so I'm imagining technology used in that kind of a scenario where it's not so impactful.
Yeah. Ubisoft's doing the same thing right now when it comes to their worlds because there's so many NPCs walking around. That dialogue you hear in the background used to be written by somebody. Now they allow AI to generate that, so it helps alleviate the workload, right? They don't need to bring in a couple members of the team to create all these lines of like just chatter. Instead, they can have AI generate that, and then it alleviates and hopefully downtimes the size or the length of when we actually see that game, because that takes time to do all that. With AI, they can hopefully shrink some of that game time down or that development time down so we can get the game sooner. There's a fine balance here, man, of where they could take this, but I don't want my main story to be crafted by AI. And I can see certain individuals going that route just to get it done. Like I said, like as I've seen people make a whole comic book out of just AI art and AI text. And I'm like, that is a joke. But then they've sold it and they've made money. I'm like, wow, if you're going to do that there, what does that mean for our industry over here in the video game space, right? Will people just start pumping out games that are all AI generated? Valve made a strong stance and say if you have any AI generated content in your game, it will not be on Steam.
Oh, I just had a hot take though. WarioWare, one of your favorite
Ugh.
titles from Nintendo. Okay, but
Shovelware.
what if that were generated by an AI? There's potential there for an endless game of WarioWare. So it's a new mini micro game each time. Endless possibilities. Perhaps there's very, very specific uses where this could be incredibly positive, but I absolutely understand the holdups.
It's the human touch to the game that I want to experience, right? Where the moments where you start to kind of get choked up, I don't want AI to create that. I want a person who has experienced something like this and wanted to put it into the game and have you feel something. That's what I want. So, but again, right? Well, Ubisoft does it for the NPCs, so you get the chatter taken care of. So I don't, man, it's a touchy subject. A lot of people are all over the map when it comes to AI. And the woes keep going over at Embracer. Scott's Embracer COO Eagle Strunk leaves the company amid restructuring. Never a good sign to lose your top people.
Did he restructure himself?
Yeah, I think so. Mike Straw over at Insider Gaming, Embracer Group Chief Operating Officer, COO Eagle Strunk, has left the company amid the restructures taking place. His announcement came via a post on his LinkedIn profile on Monday. Quote, "Last week, I left Embracer Group as COO, and it's with mixed feelings I am parting ways with this global company phenomenon rooted in Karlstad, Sweden," end quote, Strunk said. Quote, "On one hand, I'm grateful for having had the chance to work with the one-of-a-kind Lars Wingsforce and all of the amazing colleagues too. Well, he also said too many to mention, which I will be sad to leave. On the other hand, excited about the opportunities that lie ahead, starting and building my own company, Strunk Games," end quote. Strunk exits the company after spending the last 4 years there. Before his recent stint, he was also with Embracer from 2011 to 2014. Recently, various Embracer Group studios have been undergoing layoffs, the most recent being Neverwinter developer Cryptic Studios. Quote, "Although the last year has been a rough in line with general market changes and industry consolidation, I am positive that Embracer will come out strong and with a long, bright future ahead of them," end quote, he added. Scott, he left to start his own gaming company.
I wonder how excited he would be if that gaming company was scooped up by Embracer, because a lot of people are not so excited, especially considering this entire year has just been awful in terms of layoffs and job retention. And I don't want to blame Embracer exactly for that. Like he states here, there's general market changes, industry consolidation. Well, Embracer was half of that problem.
Well, yeah, at the end of the day, Embracer they lost a deal, right? And that's kind of where the things trickled down from there. And it's just, but dude, we talk about it. They just bought up and bought up and bought up and bought up and bought up. And I'm like, what are you doing? And this is what happens when things don't go the way you're hoping. And now they're laying people off, shutting studios down. Your COO's like, yo, I see the writing on the wall here. I'm leaving. Dude, that's what I'm picking off from all this is that, he sees the future. And though he may stay that he thinks that they're going to do well, he's like, I'd rather just do my own thing and get out while I can and not be one of the others to get laid off as well. It's scary times right now in the industry, as we talked about how there's like 6,000 people just recently laid off this year alone. And counting, right? Like, don't forget that we are not done. There's more to come. Embracer, I wouldn't be surprised if it's on that list of more to come. So, I don't know, man. It's definitely an interesting move to see him switch into his own studio. And then you have to get funding for that. Like, it's just, I don't know, man. Embracer, definitely curious to see where their future lies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Scott, this one's interesting. PS5 to end support for Twitter. Mike Straw over at Insider Gaming. Sony has announced that support on the PlayStation 5 for Twitter, or X, if you want to call it that, is officially ending. The announcement was made via notifications sent to consoles. Ending the support means that players will no longer be able to view content posted on the platform or even published to the platform moving forward. The company joins Microsoft in ending the console integration since Elon Musk took it over. Quote, "As of November 13th, 2023, integration with X, formerly known as Twitter, will no longer function on PlayStation 5. I think he forgot something there, Scott. PlayStation 4 consoles. Sony says, this includes the ability to view any content published on X, on PS5 or PS4, and the ability to post and view content, trophies, and other gameplay-related activities on X directly from PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, or link an X account to do so. As the publishing, Sony has yet to make an official announcement on the decision aside from the push notification. Here, it's this is an interesting stance, Scott.
Well, they are falling into what is popular, and it is very popular to hate on Elon Musk.
Yes, it certainly is.
I personally don't share that distaste.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure why, but I also don't really have too much of a use for Twitter on my consoles. So I'm not really affected by this, I should say.
Yeah, so I'll post our social media stuff, but from PlayStation, what they've done now is they've given you the ability to then share your posts to your phone, to your mobile device. So I do that, and then I go on and I make our posts, whatever kind of thing, right? So there's a workaround if you're still looking to do that. You just can't go directly from your PlayStation to Twitter. I used to have my account linked. No longer apparently is going to be able to do that come on the 13th. So keep that in mind. If you want to work around it, you just send that screenshot, that whatever clip you took, send it to your mobile device. From there, grab it, download it, and then you can post it over onto your social posts. Which, dude, I did everything yesterday. I did a couple Spider-Man things, so you could see our stuff on like Twitter, Instagram, Threads.
Yeah, I saw that post.
Right? Yeah, dude, Spider-Man. Like, it's just, there's so many outfits to kind of go through, and I'm not done yet. Look for more outfits coming. But yeah, that's kind of one way to get around that if you're running into this problem and you are a user of this option, I guess. But yeah, I've done it in the past, but more or less now I found it easier to just do my phone. Problem is, when you have it, you got your controller, and then you got to type in all this stuff. But you get the hashtag PlayStation Share, right? Is underneath it, or PS5 Share, something on that line. PS4 Share used to be there as well. So it had a couple tags already there integrated for you to then push it over. But yeah, no, it's just a workaround if that's what you're still up to. But yeah, everybody's kind of joining the bandwagon. But I still, dude, there's so many people on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. I just don't think it'll ever go away.
No, I don't think it's ever going to go away. Although the capture buttons on our controllers might.
Maybe. Scott, new day means new games. What are we playing?
We have The Awakener, Forgotten Oath on PC, Stronghold Definitive Edition on PC, Kill It With Fire VR comes to PlayStation VR 2, and if you're arachnophobic, I do not recommend that. The Forest Cathedral is on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X. Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl 2 is on PC, Switch, PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, and X. Spellforce Conquests of EO is on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC.
Nice. And that'll wrap up today's show, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news each and every day. We'll be back again tomorrow. I'm Drew. That's Scott.
And we'll see you inside the game.